Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I have a brand new knife on the table and I'm pretty excited about this one because this originated from Kickstarter. And so at any one time it seems like I always have some type of a knife waiting for me from Kickstarter. And this one here comes from Burnside Knives. And so I have never owned a knife from Burnside Knives. This is the Cabrillo 2.0. This right here is a flipper and it has a very lovely blade shape. This is one of the things that initially drew me to it. So take a look at this S35VN blade. You'll notice the dual grinds on it. It has kind of a thinner grind here in the center and a modified drop point. So really interesting to look at. It has this huge opening hole, and it's not really necessary as an opening mechanism because there are thumb studs there. But again, it's part of the design, I suppose. We also have a flipper tab, and this knife flips very well right out of the box. It does run on bearings, and so there's really no issue there. So the scales are a G10, and this particular variant is a gray G10. And you can kind of see the design right here. I think they mentioned on their social media this was meant to mimic a mountain range, probably in the Oregon area, because I believe that's where they originate from. So gray G10 scales, orange G10 backspacer right there. And we do have a black coated pocket clip that is reversible for left or right hand carry, and it's going to be tip up either way, so that's good. So they're checking off a lot of boxes here, doing a lot of things that knife fans really like. And really, it is a liner lock, and so when we look at the lockup there, the lockup is totally fine, no real issues there. The lockup, the tightness is fine, there's no play in the blade, so everything that I would expect out of a brand new knife is present. You can check out the centering as well. So centering, maybe not 100% perfect, but it's definitely not close to rubbing anywhere. But we can see the liners are black coated. I don't see any skeletonizing in there. The weight here is going to be 4.1 ounces. So really not a heavy weight, but it does feel very substantial in the hand. You can see the thickness of the handle right there, and we'll make some comparisons in just a minute. Look at the blade, let's look at the markings on it. So this really nice drop point, we have the Burnside logo on one side, and then on the other side, very subtle markings, CPM, S35VN. And I know the lettering is very tiny, but if you can see that, it says designed in Portland, Oregon. I believe that's what it says. It's really small. But I do like that this blade has thumb studs as well as a flipper so that you can open it any number of ways that you decide to. Always good to have options. And let's make a few quick comparisons, and then we'll look at this really cool packaging here. So first off, I'm going to show off my standby knife. This is the Kershaw Blur. And just side by side, you can check those out. So very similar in size, very similar in purpose as well as an everyday carry knife. Let's check out the thickness. You can see the thickness of the Cabrillo 2.0. It's significantly thicker than our aluminum handled Blur. Also a little bit heavier as well. So we have the Blur I wanted to compare it to. What I also want to compare it to as well, because it actually punches above its weight in my terms, we have the Protech Malibu right here. And so my muscle memory, as I've been manipulating the Cabrillo, as I've been flipping it, my muscle memory is telling me to hit the button, just like we do on the Malibu there, because the action is so similar. And if you've ever used a Protech Malibu, you know the flipping action is really awesome. So I just have gotten used to doing this to close the blade. And I've been trying to do that with my Cabrillo because the flipping action is the same, but of course I have to remember it is a liner lock and not a button lock. So I think that's a good thing. You know, it's very comparable in flipping action to the Protech Malibu. So if the Malibu is of interest to you, and again, size comparison, also very similar. We can see the thickness again. Again, the Malibu is going to be a little thinner. So you can see that. One more knife, though, I wanted to compare it to. And this one's kind of out of left field, but when I saw the blade shape, it kind of reminded me of a Civivi knife. And so this is the Civivi Fracture. This is a slip joint, so it's in no way similar action-wise, but look at the blade length and the blade shape. They both have that big exaggerated opening hole, and it kind of makes sense more on a slip joint, but again, just as a comparison to each other. So that being said, just like the Civivi is a foreign produced knife, so is the Cabrillo. I do believe this was made in China. I'm not sure which manufacturer made it for Burnside Knives, but they did a really good job. So I don't know who they OEM'd it out to, but it is a well-made knife. I haven't found any real faults with it so far. Taking a look though, one more thing, let's check out the packaging. I know this is what a lot of people care about, what a lot of people don't care about, they throw it away, but I did want to share with you. I have never seen a knife manufacturer have tissue paper with their logo on it. That's a first for me. So the box came wrapped, of course, in this tissue paper. Burnside USA has the logo on it, so kind of cool. I think that's a nice little touch. And so the little touches like this, they matter. They matter, especially if you're ever going to buy one of their knives as a gift. That's kind of cool that you have a nice presentation aspect to the package as well. So let's take a look at the box. It just slides right open, and there's a lot of neat stuff in here. Again, I don't know if everyone gets this or if this was just for Kickstarter. For instance, I get some candy, a Swedish fish. If you don't know what Swedish fish are, very tasty candy, and for some reason it's part of the package here. We get a couple of stickers with variants of their logo. I don't know the origin of the logo. Maybe somebody can explain that in the comments. It looks honestly, it looks like a crown of thorns, you know, very religious themed icon there, but maybe I'm wrong. And so we get 3 different stickers. Probably a good idea. They included some Band-Aids with it as well. And dice. Again, I've never had a folding knife come with a pair of dice before. So the fact that this is on here, kind of cool. We have some paperwork as well, and a couple of lanyards. So we have not 1, but 2 lanyards. So that's pretty cool. Actually, no, this one looks like a bracelet, to be honest with you now. So we have a friendship bracelet. How cool is this? And a bead and a lanyard. So, I mean, they really decked out all the goodies in this box. Again, I can't think of too many knives I've ever bought that had this much stuff packed in with it. And so it's kind of a nice thing, because when you buy something on Kickstarter, you know, we're easily not going to see the actual product for, you know, 6 months. So why not throw in some goodies? You know, they have time to prepare, time to get ready, all the boxing and packaging and the goodies. So having these little extras in on the package makes it all the nicer when you open it and you just get a smile on your face. So they really kind of knocked it out of the park with the packaging. Not going to guarantee you're going to get most of this stuff if you purchase this at retail from a dealer or maybe even direct from their website. But that being said, the knife itself, I have really no faults for it. The thick G10 scales give you a good grip. If you're looking for a super lightweight knife, this isn't it, because it is a little bit over 4 ounces. But even then, that's not really too heavy. I will mention before we go the other specs that were slightly off from what they mentioned on Kickstarter. The blade length here, the cutting edge is exactly about 3 inches, which is what they were advertising. But if we measure from the tip of the blade to the tip of the scale right here, it's more like 3 1/4 inches. And if you want to go so far as to measure from the tip of the blade to the bottom of the flipper tab right here, that's about 3 3/4 inches. So the blade is bigger than it would appear if you just look at the specs on the website. The overall length of the knife is about 7 3/4 inches. Which is a little bit down because I say it's 8 inches overall, but it doesn't really come close to that. But that's really not a downside or anything. I'm just trying to, you know, make it clear of what I got spec-wise versus what was stated on the original Kickstarter page. And they may update that at some point, or it'll probably be updated on their actual website when it goes for retail sale. But that being said, if you have any questions about this knife, feel free to leave a comment below. I just kind of wanted to give you an overview of the knife. My first impressions are very good. The action is good. There's really no faults. It's sharp out of the box. That's not an issue. So this is the Burnside Knives Cabrillo version 2. So hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.